Happy New Year! Welcome to Pod of Mercy. I am your host, Longhair Linda, and today's special guest co-host is...
Yo, everyone, it's DoeJoe.
DoeJoe, how are you doing today?
Good. I wanted to then have some form of Lush One type intro, and I couldn't think of anything, so I just left you with dead air then. So that's
No, it's fine.
Intro from me.
It's okay. Honestly, it's okay. I don't expect like massively long intros. I do kind of just throw people in the deep end. I'm like, yeah, the guest co-host is, go for it. Yep. You. Right, DoeJoe, you haven't been here before. So before we actually get into the topic, we're going to be doing all types of New Year's stuff today. But before we do that, we're going to start with a rapid fire round. So this is just a little icebreaker for us to get to know each other a bit. Well, at least for the purposes of the podcast. So mostly it's going to be about you. So what we have is 45 seconds to answer 10 questions. If you get all 10 questions, you win. If you don't, then I win. There's no prize, just bragging rights. Do you think you can do it?
I've seen this segment before, and I usually get it quickly, and now I'm going to be on the spot. It's not going to happen, but we're going to give it.
Do you answer along?
I do, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so maybe you'll have a little bit of a cheat code. Maybe I should really shorten this, but it's all right. I'll give you the same. I'll give you 45 seconds.
Let's go.
Okay, so I'm going to get my timer together, and then as soon as I say go and ask the first question, the timer starts. You ready?
Yeah. Let's go.
All right, and go. A night out or a night in?
Night in.
What's your favorite rainy day activity?
Watching films.
One thing you regret spending money on?
Jackets.
Travel to the past or to the future?
Past.
What's your go-to lazy dinner?
Pizza.
Are you more of an introvert or an extrovert?
Introvert.
If you were to write a book, what would it be about?
Trying to convince myself to get my shit together.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Most important quality in a friend?
Loyalty.
What's your hidden talent?
I can do the raindrop noise from Ferris Bueller.
Oh, you just made it. You just, by the skin of your teeth, made it. Very, very well done. Hold on. Tell me more about this hidden talent.
Have you seen Ferris Bueller?
I have. It's been a very long time since I've seen it. I'm not going to lie.
I can't remember. The mate Cameron does like the raindrop noise with his mouth. I've done it in a battle, but I then got put in mouth.
Sound.
Yeah, I did it in a battle and got put in mouth when I did it. All right, here we go. There you are.
That is a skill. That is a skill. That's actually really impressive.
There you go.
Really impressive. Okay, very well done.
I had answers ready to go there. The book one stumped me.
You did take some time on that one. You did. Yeah. You did take some time on that one, but it's okay because you wanted to write a book about getting your shit together. You got your shit together and got these questions all answered.
This modern, I knew what I was doing all along.
It's perfect. All right, awesome. Okay, well, DoeJoe, seeing as this is the new year, we're now in 2025. I wanted to have a chat with you about some of your resolutions or your goals, however you want to phrase it. I know people don't like the word resolutions that much. But yeah, what you kind of want out of your 2025. So I know I asked you ahead of time to get some things maybe together, and I wrote a little list here as well, but I don't know. Some of these are given a little bit basic, so I might have to think on the fly here. Okay. So let's start with one of yours. Give me one of your resolutions or goals for this new year.
So I'll start with one that's less existential, and then so you'll get an existential one, and you'll get a random one. So I've got to be in a position where I have to use the tube less. And just less.
I like that. Just less. Okay, so do you mean in terms of like commuting or like for work? Okay, so what you're saying, like maybe hoping to be able to work from home a bit more and stuff.
Yeah, or just because like I don't mind the tube, but I'm starting to hate King's Cross now. Like every time I'm there, it's to the brim, and I'm like, I know it's it's the tube. You get what you get, but I'm just like, if I can do this less, I will gladly. Yeah, and it's kind of a necessary pressure to put on yourself to put yourself in a position where you have to use the tube less. So
Okay.
we'll see how that, how that happens. But yeah, that's it is an existential one, and it isn't really. So we shall see.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's not bad. That's not bad. I certainly don't. I don't miss the tube. Like that's not something I think that I miss. And every time I go back to London, yeah, it's just I'd rather not. But it's the easiest and quickest way to get to most places for most of the time. So yeah, not my favorite though, and I totally understand about King's Cross. I hate that station. I've hated that station for many years. It's just it's not nice. It's not nice.
And
all right,
at any time, if it's early and you're at King's Cross, full to the brim. If it's late, there's delays. It's never good.
Yeah, there's no good time. It's nothing to do with rush hour or peak times or anything like that. It's just a bad place. It's a bad place to be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with my first one. My first one is so basic. Honestly, reading it back, I'm like, I don't even know why I put this down because this is probably going to be most people's, which is get back in the gym consistently. Okay. But for me, I'm not doing it in the sense of like, you know how everyone in January is like back in the gym and doing this stuff.
Yeah.
I got really good at going frequently to my local gym and lifting more and like actually having just feeling like strong. And it like I think this past, I don't know how long it's been, but how this most recent time of like going to the gym has probably been my favorite in all my years of ever going in and out of the gym, because I just felt like I was going there to, like, my personal best were always to do with getting stronger and lifting more weight and, having really good form and just seeing like my progress on this type of stuff. So that was for me my favorite thing and the thing that I'm looking forward to doing consistently, because I feel like November is probably where it started going really wrong, just because I just less and less. And then once you break out the habit, it's just not good. So yeah, so November and December not being good. But as for January, we're going to get back in. We're going to be consistent.
You're going to straight in with January with it being filled to the brim, or you're going to...
Yeah, I don't...
It takes a dip, I feel like. It will start from the beginning of January packed, and then it will like waver a bit.
Yeah, usually by February it starts to, not be as busy, and then by March it's like just the regulars. But the type of gym I go to is a little bit intimidating, I think, for people that don't go to the gym often, because it's one of these gyms where you walk in and then it's just like they've got like old school friggin' iron like equipment. Like it's not like when you go to a Pure Gym, for example. No disrespect to them, because I was a member there for a long time. When you go to a Pure Gym, it's like all the stuff you're used to seeing. The first things you see will be all the treadmills and all that kind of stuff. It's all very, similar. This one is quite intimidating looking. There's like iron things everywhere and just metal and like people just like, it looks a bit like, how like when you go to Pure Gym, the focus is on all the machines, and then you have like a specific area for the like free weights and stuff, whereas this gym is like the free weight area, as it were, is like the majority of the gym, and then you have small little cardio section in there. So I think it's not a place where your January resolutions are going to bring a hell of a lot of people, if that makes sense. So hopefully I avoid the rush, the January rush. But if there is one, I'm just going to go anyway. It doesn't matter. You just wait a little bit longer. It's fine. I'll still go.
I froze my membership. I can't even tell you when. And then, my own, like, I had a similar resolution on here. I just put like, exercise more / run more, because I was always like, I liked running.
Ooh, okay.
But yeah, whether I'll go back in a gym, who knows? But yeah, definitely running, because I found myself using the gym mainly for the treadmill anyway. And it was like, I could just do this outside for free. It's a bit techie when it's like in the colder, rainier months, but yeah, I can't.
I got myself one of those walking pads from Amazon for when it's bad weather, because I like to go out for walks. I really enjoy walking, and so I use that as like my form of cardio. Obviously, when I'm in the gym, I will do actual cardio, but outside of it. Like I enjoy going for walks, and then as soon as the weather is, because obviously once the weather is crap, it's like it's really difficult to make yourself go. And so I do have a walking pad, and it's really not that expensive. You might actually find a good deal in the January sale, so I'd probably recommend one of them. All you need to know about it is obviously other than the reviews and stuff, just make sure that the max weight and the incline is good for running, and then you're fine. Yeah, you should be fine. So just a thought, if ever you're wanting to run but you don't necessarily think you're going to make it out because of the weather, then one of them might help.
Yeah, no, that's a shout. So
so give me one of yours. You said obviously exercise, a similar one, but
we'll take that one off the list. Okay, this one reads very corny, but like it's what it is. I've put reach new feats, either battling. Well, no, I put battling and music-wise. So
nice.
However that rears its head, we'll see. But like, as long as I reach some form of a newer like level as to where I was at to last year, and yeah, especially with battling with music, because with music, it's like I get the not a rapper angle a lot from battlers. Even though I've been rapping before and have rapped at gigs, but the music hasn't been out there. It's that battle rapper stereotype of like, oh yeah, new music coming soon, never coming soon. Like it's just always just like it's posted about, but yeah. So and yeah, I've been like writing stuff and making stuff. It's just recording and putting it out there. So yeah, that'll be something to work towards. And then yeah, with battling, if that's I'm in a funny position where I'm like, I don't know if it's going to be like 3 battles a year, 4, 5, but as long as it's a new level, then I'll be happy. That's the way I see it.
Nice. I like that. I like that. Okay.
Good start to the year with what in terms of where it's now announced me and Tia battling. So we'll see how things go from there, really. So
yeah, looking forward to that one. Looking forward to that one. Okay, cool. Let me pick one of mine. So I want to go to Tokyo this year.
Nice.
I want to go. I've been talking about going to Japan and doing like a good like 2 to 3 weeks if I can, and so that I can see Tokyo, I can see like some other places, Okinawa, like some other places, and just see some things. Because I just feel like it's a once in a lifetime type of thing, and you should go and try and see everything because it's so expensive to get over there anyway. So you might as well spend as much time as you can and see as much as you can. But every year there's been a reason why I haven't done it since I've wanted to do it. So I think for this year, I'm putting it as a resolution because I really do. I want it to be a goal. Like I want to achieve it. I want to go to Tokyo this year, not pushing it anymore.
Right.
So hopefully, prayerfully, I'll be able to get myself to Tokyo in 2025.
Nice. Would you say you traveled much in can't say last year because it hasn't set in yet. But like
in 2024, I traveled twice. So I did Malta and I did Spain.
Nice.
So I didn't go too far.
Nice.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't go into any. No, I didn't travel.
You didn't go anywhere?
I did little like staycations and stuff. I went to Yorkshire. That was nice. But yeah. No countries. that could be something to work towards.
So obviously because I live in Manchester and my mum's in Essex, typically the train journey is just so expensive to go down to London. And I remember a couple of years back, we would just be like, oh, should we just like go somewhere? Like instead of her paying to come up here and me paying to go down there, we still do every now and again do that. Like I'll be going down there like next week. But generally speaking, like to see each other throughout the year, we just decided, should we just do a little holiday that's just us? And so we started doing that throughout the year. And at first it'd be like going to like a place in like Birmingham or something like that, staying at a hotel, because it's in the middle. And then like doing little spa places or whatever in England. And then we were like, do you know what? It costs about the same to just get a flight somewhere. We might as well go and see something. Yeah. So we did like Lisbon, and we've gone like Malta, Spain. We just do these little trips. So that I just really enjoy that, because I just think, honestly, by the time you pay for the flight, it's almost the same as getting a train to London. So
yeah, I've got a mate who's always on Skyscanner all the time, and there's always like his stories. He's always in different places. I'm like, I envy this so much, and it's like, well, it's doable, like clearly, like, so. Yeah, it's got to be done.
Yeah, it's doable. It is and it isn't. Like, I do also understand that like you can want to travel more, and sometimes life just gets in the way, and it's very easy for that to happen. I think if it wasn't for me and my mum doing those trips and her being so like on the ball with it, I probably would not have traveled twice this year myself, in 2024 myself. So yeah, I'm glad that we're both like, all right, yeah, let's go do something, and then we just do it.
And so Tokyo has always been on the bucket list then.
Tokyo's been on the bucket list, my bucket list. I don't think my mum cares about Tokyo at the slightest. It's been on. It's just something I thought about the last few years, especially. Last year at some point I was like learning Japanese. I need to get back into that, actually. That might be one of mine as well. But like, yeah, I don't know. I've always just been so enamored by it. The last few years especially, and I just think it'd be really cool to go, really cool to see it. So yeah,
sweet, very nice.
So Tokyo, go on, give me one of yours.
Right, okay. Here's we've done some like less deep ones, and then on my end, and then this is the deep one, I'd say. I've just written it as like a phrase. I put you don't always have to be at the party, and I think that applies to a lot of things.
Expand.
I think it applies to a lot of things, even just on the surface level. It doesn't necessarily have to be a FOMO thing, or like. But I think there's a lot of things you don't have to be at the party for, or you don't have to reply to this. You don't have to put your energy towards that. You don't have to be there for this thing. It's fine. You can just chill. Like, don't worry. And I think that phrase applies to a lot of things. And I think a lot of people would be better off for it. I remember Dean was saying a similar thing in regards to like how Twitter is in the last episode, in terms of like, a lot of things are very rage baity, or just and you don't have to be at the party. Like, that's the way I see it, and I'm telling myself that. And I think it's just quite a helpful mantra.
Nice.
How we do that, I don't know, but I think it's a good little thing to tell myself.
I like that. I really, really like that, and it kind of goes into my next couple, because my next couple are in an effort to reduce brain rot. So we're talking about socials. Mm-hmm. So obviously scroll less is one, but the main thing is like read more. Again, quite basic. I feel like a lot of people will have it. But genuinely, like, I don't mean like buy books to read. I mean, read the damn books I've bought the last few years and just not read them. Like, I've bought books even if we just say the last 3 years. I've bought books for the last 3 years, put them on my bookshelf, like my bookcase, and I've just not read them. Like, one of them, my most recent purchase, it's still in the damn Amazon box. So like, I need to sort my shit out, and I need to read more. I need to actually read the books I've bought. Let's start there. Read the actual books that I've bought, and scroll less. Like, if I'm like, oh, I ain't got really anything to do right now, let me go see what's going on. I want my default to be, oh, let me get back to that story, or let me find out what's going on over here and what this person said about this. And like, I want that to be my default. I don't want it to be, because the thing is, when I was a child, I loved reading. Like, I was one of those kids. Like, I loved reading. I loved getting lost in a story. It was my favorite thing to do at school. It was the thing I did best at, like, in terms of grades. And I loved reading. And like, I used to love, even like, when I was like like an early teen, I'd say, and we'd go to like the charity shops and you'd get like loads of books for like 50p or whatever.
Yeah.
It'd be super cheap. And it'd be like adult books that I had no business reading. It'd be like Danielle Steele and I'm 12. But like I loved like getting lost in those stories as well, even stories that weren't necessarily like meant for me, and weren't necessarily like literary education books. I just loved every type of reading. I loved it. And I find that my love of like TV shows and movies, like more specifically TV shows, I think, because for me, I think it's like a longer movie and I prefer that. You got more time to explore things with characters and the stories and things like that. And I think that that's what I love about books, because it feels like it lasts for ages. Like it feels like it's a really long story that you can just kind of, even if reading it doesn't actually take long, but it feels like your mind kind of does more, if that makes sense. And so
it keeps you, like you said, your mind's working. Whether
I imagine
feel our brains like turn to mulch when we're scrolling.
Yes.
That long term is not good.
It's not, and that's why I think everybody's doing these ADHD tests, and everyone's got ADHD now. Like you wouldn't have before this. You wouldn't have.
Easy to
like
diagnose.
Some people honestly. Some people have ADHD, and that's not, and I'm not making light of any conditions at all. What I'm saying is that we're all getting, if we all start doing those ADHD tests online, you'll find that a lot of the consequences of the way we interact with social media, with media in general now, is the cause of a lot of those symptoms that seem to be an ADHD that isn't, unlike people who actually have ADHD. So I think, it's something I want to reduce. I can feel myself lacking in ways, like even just conversationally. Sometimes I'll be having conversations and I'll be like, I can't think of the damn word that I want to say. I can't, I can't, and not in a normal, sometimes you don't think of what you like. I mean, it's happening regularly, it's happening frequently, and I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable, and I think I need to be proactive and make sure that I'm doing things that's actually going to make not only a positive change to the way I interact with people and to my own self, but also make better use of my time. Like my time is not being used well. And I think that's one of the main things I want to change about myself from 2025 moving forward. It's actually using my time well. And I think reducing brain rot is a fantastic use of my time. So reading more, scrolling less. And I also have one here that's going to be very, very difficult for me, but I need to do it. Stop watching one reality show that I would normally watch.
Which one's that?
I don't know. I haven't picked one yet, but it's probably going to be one of the Zeus ones. If I've got to pick one to go, it's got to be a Zeus one. I watch Baddies and I watch Justin's Cabaret, and I have no business watching those two shows. I will watch it and be like, why the fuck am I watching this show? Like while I'm watching it, I'm like, why? Why do I watch this shit? So those are the ones that.
Have you seen that clip of Jonathan Majors like being introduced to the Zeus network or something? He's like signed up to you can see his soul die.
I know he hates his life. I know he hates his life. I know he does.
He like walks in and he's trying to look like pleased, and but I'm very much the same, especially with reading what I've already got previously. The amount of times I buy a new book to try and read. I generally think my worst habit is that I don't read enough at all, and that I don't particularly like. I find that I go through non-fiction quicker than fiction, but like I'll get more books each year, and then I stop reading them or I don't read them at all. I literally, like as you were saying that, I've got like books here that I've just never touched, or stopped reading, and it's like there's no point buying even more. Otherwise you just stockpiling, and
I'll literally stockpiling at this point. I need to read them. No more buying them. Just read them. Just read them first, and then I can buy more that I actually will plan to read. If that's the case.
Definitely. Okay, I'm trying to figure out if I pick like a intense one or if I pick like one that's kind of like a fun one. I've put Kick Coffee.
Oh, that is a good one. You should do it. It's so freeing.
Because I love coffee. I love caffeine. But coffee is not good for me in the slightest in terms of like I'll have whole day's fucked up because I've just become an anxious, jittery mess because I've had a fucking mocha in the morning. Especially having that without eating anything beforehand or whatnot, and it just your nerves are shot. I think I did like a month or so without coffee. It was just doing decaf coffees, and then any form of caffeine was through a tea. Even though tea has more caffeine in it, it's a slower release. And I was way better for it. And then I started a new job where I was on earlies, and then went back to coffee again. And as much as I love a mocha and everything, it's not worth the fucking near panic attacks. Yeah, but I think that's the first one I always like had when I was trying coffee, and that's probably why I'm on it. I'll still have like a latte or anything like that, but like, yeah, it's doing more bad than good for me at the moment, and it's just like I just need to kick it. I've done it before. I've done decaf life before, so it's just like, and I've still got tea, and I can still do that and not, feel like I'm, a shaken bottle of Coke all day. So
yeah,
that's
for sure. I've gone through insane coffee phases in my life where I've just drank way too much coffee, like way too much, doing way too much every day. Had full blown, like, just been completely jittery and panicked and anxious and insane, and still woke up the next day and did it all over again. So I definitely know what that's like. I've kicked it and then started it again and then kicked it. And right now I'm doing pretty good. I will say some good alternatives. Obviously, you talked about tea. Green tea is really good.
Yeah.
Just have one. Don't, especially if you already get jittery, just, one is fine. Matcha is probably my favorite thing at the moment because it feels different. It's fair.
But then I've had
it's an interesting taste.
Latte, so that's like, I don't know.
Yeah, like a matcha latte is probably the easiest way to drink it because there's just so much milk in it. But I'm a boba girl. I like a bubble tea, so I will typically get like a matcha bubble tea. To have that, and that's pretty good in the mornings. It's pretty good to get you going. But yeah, no, I totally understand. It's really tough to kick, and you do get like that caffeine headache to begin with. But then once you kick it, it's good, and it's just about. Because my problem is I'm like, oh, I've kicked it. I'm gonna, I can manage it. Like I talk like I'm a proper like addict, and I'm like, no, but I can just have like one every now and again. But as soon as I start doing that, like, I can stop it. I can just have, what the odd one, and it's okay. Yeah. And then immediately I'm like back on it hard again, and I'm like, I have to stop this. I have to stop. So, yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I just find I'm too dependent on it, or just like if I can at this point. I think I literally had an experience with it the other day and put it on this list like immediately. So it's like it's becoming a necessity at the moment. And I can still have tea, and like you said, like herbal teas as well. I love a herbal tea. But then starting a day with a green tea is like, I can do that. And it just needs to be done. And like I've had a lot of good decaf coffees, so it's
I don't do that. No. I feel like that's too close to it for me, and I'll just end up drinking coffee again. So I just leave it.
I find if I've had a tea and then a decaf tea, the decaf tea gives me some sort of placebo effect of it.
Oh, okay. I don't really drink black teas like that though.
Right. Okay.
I'm not like a black. Well, actually, I say that I will have it, but I'm not like. There are days that go by that I don't have one, and I don't even notice. I'm more likely to have them if there's biscuits knocking about.
Right.
But like typically speaking, I'm more of a bubble tea, so I'll have. Actually, is oolong a black tea? What's an oolong tea?
I want to say that it's yeah.
If it's a black tea, then I totally lied, and I have it all the time. I don't know what oolong is.
I was just telling me it's a semi-oxidized tea. Oh, Black Dragon it translates to.
So is that what oolong translates? So is it actually a black tea? Because if it is, then I drink black tea all the time.
This is great promo for my next battle. We're just saying his name constantly.
Oh, didn't even occur to me. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a black tea apparently.
So ignore everything I just said before. I drink it all the time. All the time. I drink it all the time.
But I'm a big tea drink. Like I drink English breakfast tea all the time. So it's like
fair.
I still have that caffeine. I can still do that with that. but it's just coffee's just more intense, and it's just not.
It's so intense.
Yeah,
has no business being that intense. It's so intense. I get it. It's just a mad one. It's a mad one. All right. So I'll do one of mine then. I think this one is a bit more of it might have been something I discussed before potentially with Trubs on the procrastination episode, or the consistency is key. Create and put out at least one of the shows I've been thinking about for years.
Okay. Nice.
So, like I said before, I love TV shows, love stories. I have loads of shows in my head that I've created.
Right.
Everything from like storytelling type of like fictional shows to like content shows, game shows. I have loads of these ideas in my head, and I think that a lot of them are actually probably very viable. But I don't ever start them. I don't ever do them because I'm like, as soon as I start them, I'm going to want it to be perfect. I'm going to want it to be done right. And I don't have the budget for the things I want to do, or I don't have the ideal host in mind. I don't have, like, there's all these things that go on in my head. And so I want to put all of that aside. And I just want to say at least one of the shows that I've been thinking about for years, I want to create and put it out in 2025. Whatever that is, whether I'm going to go for a fiction one, or whether I'm going to go for just a good old podcast idea or game show idea or something like that, I'm going to create and I'm going to put it out. Whether I'll be in it or not, that's a whole other conversation. It depends on what it is, but I'm definitely going to create it, produce it, and put it out for consumption before the end of 2025.
Nice. When you say they you've got them in your head and you haven't put them out, is it do you reckon it's the process of putting them all out, or like as in of say like the first draft or something? Do you want it to, in your head, do you want it to be like perfect immediately on first draft?
Yes. I'm a perfectionist. No problem.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, I say this, I haven't like written any scripts in God knows when, but like when I was doing that in uni, it's like making peace with like doing a vomit draft or something. Just like get it all out on there and then maybe leave it for a couple of days, then edit it down with that eye that you would want to have for it when you were first writing it. Because if you get everything out there and then just whittle it down, then it's better building blocks that way. And yeah, that's what I find. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good one to have on there and good aim to have on there. But like, as in like, get something on a page or a screen and then take it and
start from there.
Yeah, the best.
Yeah, that's always been the root of my procrastination. It is my perfectionism. I'm just so, especially with creative stuff, like I find that I don't believe myself to be a creative. I've always believed myself to be very analytical, very like, that type of thing. And for the longest time, I think people view it in like that way in general, but I specifically view those two things as mutually exclusive, and they're not. Like, you can absolutely be analytical and be creative in certain ways and both be good. Like, whatever effort you're trying to put out, they'll both be good, whatever your strengths are. But I think for a really long time for me, when it comes to creative stuff, I'm so precious about it, and I'm so like, and I know that all creatives are about whatever it is, but I think the thing that I've always been so jealous about are the creatives who just put it out and just do it and just go try it and just like, fuck it. I don't care if it sucks, it sucks. I'm going to do it. And I've always been incredibly jealous of people like that. And incredibly envious of the delusion it takes to first put your stuff out and go do it. Yeah. Because you have to have a form of like at least a little bit of delusion in thinking, I'm really good at this and everyone's going to love it. Let me do it quickly while I'm thinking about this, And I don't have that. And I think that I really struggle with creative projects or things that I will have a lot of passion for, because I'm not the type of person that like super cares what people think. I think on a base level, we all care what people think of us, right? Especially people that we love or we care about. But I do, generally speaking, where I'm not like constantly like wondering, oh my God, what if someone doesn't like this dress that I'm wearing? Or what if someone just, that's not my type of vibe. But when it comes to like passion projects, my God, I'm like, everyone's going to hate it and everyone's going to say it's terrible. And then there's just no point of putting it out and everyone's going to laugh at me. Like and I don't have that about anything else. I don't think that way about anything else. But yeah, I just get really, really precious about it. And so I want to stop doing that. And so by putting this resolution or this goal for myself, 2025, I think that hopefully that will help me push past it, at least with this one area.
Yeah, I mean, so a good thing that like, and I guess is kind of like marrying analytical and creative together, and it helps out a lot, is setting certain, like, and you've done it with the resolution in general, is setting deadlines. So for instance, if I'm writing rounds for a battle, I now have to stop writing 10 days before the battle and use those 10 days to rehearse. And everything has to be locked. Like, you can't touch it anymore 10 days before. And because of that, it stops you a bit from being precious. Even with there'll be bits that I won't like or whatnot, but the 10 days is, I've got to stop 10 days before, and then what will be type thing. Yeah, I found that deadlines help a lot with that. So yeah.
I'll try and incorporate some as I go, because obviously I've got the main deadline, but yeah, I'm going to try and like decide on something by this date, and once I've decided, need to start planning it out by this date and contacting people by this date, and that type of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll see how it goes.
Nice. What do I want to do? Okay. I'm going to say, all right, fuck it. Watch even more films, which is counterproductive to the book discussion, but like, I feel like...
No, it isn't. Films are good. It isn't.
Yeah, no,
it isn't
I'm a film person through and through. Like, that's my books, do you know what I mean? But like, and I did watch a fair amount this year, but I look back at some months, I'm like, God, what, you could have watched more there. I think February I only watched 2 or 3, and that upset me. I'm like, and then there'll be months where I like go on a massive cinema binge, but no, I can watch more gladly. Someone today asked me what have I seen, like what's something I've seen lately, and I was like, I clocked the last cinema trip for a newer film was like, you know, a couple of weeks back, and I wasn't happy with that. I'm like, I'm still suggesting the same film to people. I'm like, I want to be able to suggest more. In terms of new releases, I see a lot of old stuff like more frequently, but yeah, especially with new releases as well. I want to say, so yeah, watch even more films than I do. That's what I want to do.
That's a good one. Okay, this one's specific to this podcast. So promote Podomercy with clips.
Okay. Yeah.
So, when I do an edit, I will typically make a note of things that I think are funny in that episode. And I'm like, I'll make a clip out of that. And then I never do. So now that I have visuals, I need to actually make clips. Because back in the day when I had audio only, I was making clips with just the audio, and I was finding a picture and finding some, making some captions to try and get people to, listen to it and stuff, and something that was funny just to entertain people with it. And now I have visuals and I'm not doing that. So I think for 2025, I want to actually promote Podomercy with clips. If it's an older episode, if it's a newer episode, it doesn't matter. Just actually promote it to people, get some funny bits out on the socials. And it should be easier because I have visuals now. So yeah.
Right. Nice. Just make sure when you're editing, you don't go like this and then go into the YouTube Reels, because that will happen for me. It's like I'll make a clip and then now I'm going through other YouTube shorts after, like, and then getting caught in that.
Yeah. I don't get caught too much on YouTube shorts.
Right.
I used to be a really bad Instagram Reels scroller, and sometimes I will still do that, but TikTok is my problem, which should solve itself once the Americans get off it. So
I refuse to have TikTok, even though I'm doing the same thing.
I love TikTok. I love TikTok.
YouTube, but it's just,
it took me a minute to warm up to it, but I love TikTok.
I legit felt like I was kicking a drug when I deleted it, because it's too if I get worried about like my attention span when I do it. I'm even more worried for kids nowadays. It's
no, it's terrible. Yeah.
But TikTok, I can't. Even though I'm doing the exact same thing I'm against with Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, TikTok just feels like the
you feel like you're drawing
the
line.
Yeah, I draw the line at TikTok. I can't do it. And then it's becoming more and more of a necessity promo wise of social media and everything. I'm just like, I can't bring myself to it. I just can't do it.
Well, listen, once the Americans get off it, there might not be anything there anyway. So
yeah,
it might be the end of TikTok like this month. So we'll find out.
There we go. All Instagram.
Go on, give me one of yours.
Okay, I've got. Okay, we'll do this one. I've put have a creative job that makes me happy / gives me peace of mind.
Nice.
I don't know what that's going to be, but as long as I get some form of creativity from it and some form of peace of mind, that's my goal. Because that's who doesn't want peace of mind. No, like like I get my creative outlets where I can, but you spend like 95, 99% of your time at work, and if you're not getting the happiness or the create like what you want from it, it's just becoming an unnecessary distraction. So that's why I want to find something that I do get that fulfillment with, basically.
Nice.
Who knows what that will be, but we'll see.
Hey, you never know. You never know what it always looks different when you do it.
And I think putting it out there, because I had this. I'm not a big manifesting person, or I'm not. I don't know if I'm particularly spiritual or whatnot. But before we had discussion about resolutions, I had written that down in a notebook, like this resolution.
That's good.
Have it written out there and talk about it. Put it out there in the first place, because I think I'm trying to take a lot of steps to actually attract these things and for them to kind of rear their head and then get the ball rolling. And that's one of them. Even putting it out in a public sphere, like something will come from that.
100%. Like, I'm not going to claim to know how manifesting works, but I think that a lot of it is this whole idea of attracting things to you. A lot of it is the speaking into existence thing, is because when it's on the front of your mind, what's in the forefront of your mind, and it's, something you've discussed and thought about and written down and things like this. I think what ends up happening potentially is that you knowingly or unknowingly start moving in a way that will position you into getting that thing. So however manifesting works, whether it is all magical and it just appears, or if it's because you're speaking it into existence for your literal self, however it works, I think it works 100%. I really do think it works. And I think that if something's important to you, you want to achieve something, you want to do something, writing it down, saying it, telling people about it, moving in a way that positions yourself, whatever that looks like, because we don't know what that's going to look like in the future. You don't know how that opportunity is going to present itself, but making sure that you're ready for it and that you want to do it, then I think that's the best way you can, at least to the very best of your ability, try and make sure that thing comes about. And I genuinely think that's all manifesting is.
Yeah, it seems very psychological, and like you said, if you're going around telling people that, a lot of people can just tell people they're going to do stuff and it doesn't happen. But it's all if you're putting it out there and you put that's going in your wiring, and
100%. And also, you don't know who you're telling it to. You might be telling it to someone who's like, oh, actually, you know what? I could hook you up with XYZ. You would have known that if you didn't randomly bring it up. Like, I find battle rap events are like that. Like, especially the battle rap community. I think we've got so many incredibly talented people in and outside of rap itself. I feel like there are so many unbelievably incredible and talented people in our scene that, like, you could just be having a random conversation after an event over drinks and it could come to something. You don't know what that will be. You never know. Not that you should go into it like that. I think you should always go into it like, you're here for the thing that you like and you're meeting people or, seeing people you haven't seen in a while, whatever. But you just never know, having these conversations and being upfront and vulnerable about the thing that you want. That's never a bad thing, in my opinion.
I saw a thing recently where I think it might have been Frack that said it, where he was like, battle rap is one of the most transferable things you can, like,
yes,
because you can take that into performance art. You can take that into comedy. You can take that into visual filmmaking, like anything like that. It springboards into a lot of different things, and a lot more people know about it and have it in their life than they let on. Like
100%, yes. I think anyone that can get on a stage and do that, or can put on events of people getting on a stage and do that, I think there's a lot of lots of different transferable skills there that can lead to a lot of great things for people. And I think it's at least there's that, because there's certainly no fucking money in it. So at least there's that. That you can use it for various things, and you can learn about various things as well, and hopefully put that to good use for yourself and for your life.
Definitely.
All right, we were talking about creative stuff. So this one is resume anime style drawing. So a little while back, I was trying to teach myself to draw in anime style. Drawing is one of those things that I like to do, but I don't like to take too seriously. I just like doing it, and I'm not particularly great at it. I just enjoy it. But I really wanted to learn how to draw anime style things, and I brought this big old sketchbook and I started drawing them, and I haven't really picked it up again since. So I want to go back. I did a few pages of like popular characters, and now I want to go back and keep doing it, because I actually enjoyed myself, even though sometimes I get stressed out and rub things out and start again. But I enjoyed the whole thing and enjoyed using my time that way, because again, I'm trying to use my time well. And I think doing that is probably a good use of time.
Yeah, it sounds very therapeutic as well. Like,
yes, yeah. Put on a playlist and just start drawing anime characters. It's pretty good. I can't lie. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Are you drawing on a tablet, or what's the situation?
So I was gonna wait until I got to the point where I was actually sketching them. So I've got loads of different pencils and a big sketch pad. And so once I could show myself that I could be consistent in sketching them, then I would invest in, some kind of tablet or something like that. But obviously I showed myself that I wasn't very consistent. So I'm glad I didn't spend all that money on a tablet and not use it. Yeah. But if I'm getting more consistent, then I can justify that expense.
Yeah. It's adding deadlines to things. It's all,
Exactly.
Okay, I put stop inhaling food.
Ooh, chew slower.
It's not even that. It's more so just
just chew.
It sounds mad. I basically, savor things in the moment, because that's purely it. So it's not even just for the metaphor. Like I love food, but I'll get a meal and it's gone before I even fucking know it. And I'm not there, therefore I'm not sitting there and enjoying that meal. The same with drinking. I'll neck things, and I'm like, no, this is a drink that you're meant to fucking take your time with for like. You'll be better off for just slowing down, basically. So that's why I put that there. So both literally and just like with life, it's like
it's good.
Don't inhale it, yeah.
Savor things. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one, I think.
That's the better way of phrasing it. Savoring
things. Okay, this is similar to my anime style drawings. I want to resume my little DIY piano lessons. So rather than learning the boring stuff that nobody cares about, I used to play piano a little bit when I was in school. So I just want to. I was doing these weird DIY piano lessons last year briefly, where I would just learn for example, I learned the key part of in the scoring by Hans Zimmer for Interstellar. Went out of my head completely. So in the most simple form, don't get me wrong, I'm not playing no Hans Zimmer, okay? But the most simple form of it, just finding out what the chords were, what the notes were, and actually just being able to play them, there's a specific term for this and I can't remember what it is, but being able to play one thing here and one thing here. There's a word for that, but I can't remember what it is. And so, yeah, just little things like that. I was getting pretty good, and I could play a couple songs. I always have had one song that I can play regardless, on a keyboard, on a piano. If I see one, there's this one song that I can play called Only You. I've always been able to play that since I was a kid. But I just want to add more songs to that. And it was really fun. having a little alarm on my phone and being like piano lesson, because I work from home, so like it'd just be a random time in the day, but like piano lesson, and I go down and I just play on the keyboard. So I want to do that again because I have it and I can do it and I have the time and I want to use my time well. You see, there's a theme with all my stuff.
You played any other instruments, or was it always piano?
Very, very briefly guitar.
Okay.
I like the strumming. I didn't like memorizing what the damn chords were. I didn't know where they were. My main thing was piano, a little bit of recorder, but I think everyone did in primary school. But nothing to write home about. It was the piano and singing was the things I did in music, like in secondary school.
Nice. Sweet. I've got
and composing.
Yeah,
that was the stuff that got me my good. Like the reason I ended up getting a C in my music GCSE is because all of my practical I got A stars in, and I did 0 theory. So the fact that even let me get a GCSE was truly a miracle, because I did none of this. I did none of the written work. I did none of that. It was all based on my practical.
These things can get in the bin, to be fair. Like it's a lot of it is they put too much emphasis on the theory, I think.
It's true, but you had to do the like written stuff, right? I didn't do any of it. Like I didn't do any written stuff for music, for drama.
I hated it for drama. I was like, why am I?
I'm not doing this. I'd see people like proper struggling with it. And I'm not doing that. There's a lot of things. I got quite a lot of C's. I got an A and I got a couple B's, a few B's. And I got some C's, and all the C's have a theme. I genuinely did not try. But like if there was a practical, I did great at it. Yeah. But if there was, I had to sit there and learn some stuff and write some things down and I wasn't doing all that.
I remember doing terrible for the theory and drama and then getting a decent grade in the practical. But it's just like,
that's literally how I got my C.
Yeah. I think it's that battle of like, it's a practical thing. Like even stuff that you can look at, like DT and all these other things. Like it's literally what the subject is.
Like cut your bit of wood or whatever, or solder this thing on, and let that be my grade. Like what the hell is all this? I don't care about the theory of it all. I don't.
Honestly,
stupid. Yeah. Like unless if they were doing something useful, like so you mentioned D&T. I didn't do DT for my option. Like when I did my options, I stopped doing it, so I only did it up to 9. But like. With something like that, unless your theory is literally safety regulations, what should I wear eye mask, eye gear and like protective equipment, like unless it's that, what the fuck have we got to write about for DT? Like it's just you just cut a bit of wood and you solder some things on. That's it.
Yeah.
What's the theory behind this?
Yeah. No,
See, I didn't understand it. Same for music. I didn't care about any of that. I composed the song, got my friend to write it, to sing it while I was playing the piano, got an A star for that, did a thing on like Fruity Loops or whatever the hell we used, got an A star for that. That was enough for me. I didn't care. I ended up with a C. Good, thank you. Because I wasn't going to do the theory. I wasn't going to do it.
I can't play piano to save my life. I'm really bad with instruments, but piano, especially in school, was like I was getting like dyspraxia through osmosis or something because I'm just doing it and I'm like, it's not happening. And then it's just, but
fair. No, piano is hard, and I don't play like a fucking. When you look at like the people that it just comes, I hesitate to say it comes naturally to, because there is an element of that, but there is also a lot of practice, like an insane amount of practice. So I don't want to reduce it almost to just like, it came just naturally to them. No, like you have to put in a lot of work. But I don't play like them. Like I'm very much okay, this is the one note here, and I can do a nice little harmony on this side, and like do a nice little chord on this side, and little chord progression, little something. That's it. Like I'm not doing all of these. I cannot do that. So, and I don't think I'll get there by doing my little DIY lessons, but I enjoy doing my DIY lessons, and it's a good use of my time. So yeah. So I'm actually done with my goals. As you can see, all of mine were about use of time, not procrastinating, not being too much of a perfectionist, reducing my brain rot, and going to Tokyo and to the gym. Nice. That's my main things for 2025. Have you got any more left on your list?
I've got like 3 more and I can rattle them off. I put more solo activities, just doing things on your own. Go to more gigs, and then I've got be less judgmental. So yeah.
That is an ongoing one of mine, and it's interesting that you said be less judgmental, because that brings us to our final segment of the show.
A1 segue.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. So, our final segment of the show, DoeJoe, is Mahakama. And Mahakama is a Swahili word for court, specifically high court. And it's a segment of the show where if you're trying to be less judgmental in your life, this might help you, because it helps me. I get to have a segment of the show every week where I can be judgmental. I judge places, people, things, whatever. Just so I can avoid being judgmental in my regular life as best as I can. So for today, DoeJoe, I found an Am I the Arsehole that was funny. And it was about the gym.
Okay.
And I thought it's perfect because it's a new year and everyone's going to try and go back to the gym. At least I am. And so I'm going to go and look for it now. Give me 2 seconds. Okay. So this was posted on Reddit a year ago. So I'm guessing this would have been, around this time last year. And it's a little bit mouthy, a little bit wordy, but I'm going to read it off. And then what I'm going to get from you, DoeJoe, is mercy or no mercy for the person who's asking if they're an arsehole for the things that they have done. Okay. Mercy being, it's not too bad. That's okay. No mercy being unacceptable. To the bin with you, judging you, and all those things. Okay. So I, 13 male, go to Planet Fitness a couple times a week. I'm not trying to get buff or anything, but I like having a place nearby to keep myself in shape. I like the 30-minute express workout, especially when I don't have a lot of time. And yesterday was one of those days. As I got there, a mid-30s guy was sitting on the row machine just on his phone. Now, I get that between workouts, people pull out their phones to change their music or reply to a text while they catch their breath. But that's not what this guy was doing. He was just sitting there playing on his phone. This happens sometimes and it pisses me off, but it's usually college kids. At first, I just brushed it off as he'll get up in a minute and just went ahead with my workout. But about 5 minutes in, he was still there. 10 minutes in, he's still there. And I was getting close to the row machine. I went up to him and asked if I could use it really quick. He didn't even look up from his phone, just held up a finger and said, just a minute. I skipped over the row machine and onto another, but the guy was not moving. Every time I look over at him, he would do 1 rep to act like he was using it and then go straight back to whatever he was doing on his phone. I had enough. I went to the counter and told one of the folks working there, and she went over and confronted him. He was told to leave the gym and sneered at me as he left, and I finished my workout. My friend, who I told later, said he thought I went too far by getting him thrown out. But the guy could have gone to a bench in the locker room or to a table in the front if he wanted to just sit there on his phone. Gym equipment is for people who want to work out, not an easy chair with levers. Was I too much of a Karen here? So, mercy or no mercy for the gym Karen, DoeJoe?
Oh, for him. Yeah, mercy. Like they're completely in the right. It's too much of an epidemic of people with main character syndrome who treat everything like it's their living room and not, that. No, yeah, he's completely fine. Like, it's a communal space. He's gone up to him first, and the person knows what they're doing, and they think they can get away with it. No, he's not in the wrong at all.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think mercy as well, because to be fair, when he went to the counter, he wasn't saying kick this guy out. He's not responsible for him being kicked out. Like, he went to get some help from staff members, which is what you should do. You shouldn't escalate anything. Like, he tried to speak to him. It wasn't getting anywhere. He waited. It wasn't getting anywhere.
I was being rude.
Yeah, I think going to speak to the staff was probably the good thing. And he probably got kicked out because he said something to the staff member. You don't know what that conversation was like and what caused for him to be kicked out of the gym altogether. I think that's a bit harsh if it was just that he was sitting there. But the gym Karen has no control over what happens once he's gone to the manager, as it were, to get help. Now, mercy or no mercy for the guy that was on his phone on the rowing machine.
No mercy. I understand if you're changing a song or whatnot, or if you're quickly setting a timer or whatnot, but that doesn't take the whole time. And the person knows they're being a dickhead because they're going like 1 second, like they're just treating it like it's their living room, and it's a communal space with equipment that's shared by everyone there. And you know, he made an effort to communicate to him beforehand. Yeah, no mercy at all. It's main character syndrome bullshit.
Yeah, I think because sometimes like when I'm in the gym and someone is using something that I need and there isn't another version of it, and you just sit there on your phone, I do in my mind go, oof, just go off your phone. Like I do feel a way. But like the thing for me, like I know that I'm being unreasonable and I know that I just need to be patient and I just lack patience sometimes. But I think the thing for me was him doing the wait a minute, not even looking at him, and then pretending to just randomly do a rep every time you look over. And it's been ages at this point.
Yeah.
If it's been ages, you've waited 5 minutes, you've waited 10 minutes, you've done, and then this person is still doing that, I feel like, yeah, no mercy for them. And again, they probably have done something that have got themselves kicked out, because that doesn't sound like a kick out of a gym offense. So he's clearly said something to that staff member that the staff member was like, actually, you know what, just get out in general. So yeah, no mercy for the rowing machine dude, but mercy for Jim Karen.
Yeah.
All right, we agree on that one. We did good. Yeah. All right, well, listen, DoeJoe, we have come to the end of the show. Thank you so much for joining me today on this New Year's Day in 2025. Can I ask, do you have anything that you want to promote or let the people know about?
Sure thing, yeah. Myself versus Black Tea, February 2nd, Premier Battles. You can get tickets at premierbattles.club. That's at the Engine Rooms from 12 till 6. It's also the Academy qualifiers, so it'll be a bunch of new people trying to get into the Academy. So yeah, a lot of fresh faces, but then you also got Dub T versus Craigie, you got Dazzy Talks and Gorilla, and you got Mr. Tongue Twister versus Red Wolf. So yeah, that's Short Circuit 9. Yeah, I've got socials at DoeJoe MC, that's spelled DoeJoe MC, on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, hopefully new music and new battles coming soon.
Yeah, exciting. And I will put your socials in the description as well. So go ahead and check the descriptions either on this video or wherever you're listening to this episode. So if you like this episode, please do check out previous episodes, share this one with a friend. If you're listening, please give us a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And if you're watching, engage with the video, subscribe to my channel, please. Engage with the video. Just put in a little comment that you enjoyed it, you didn't enjoy it, you want to put in your own resolution, something. Give me something, because that's going to help the algorithm push it to more people, and hopefully more people will get a chance to enjoy this episode just like you did. But you can follow at Pod of Mercy on the socials. I will start to put out clips eventually. Don't hold me to that in terms of this week, but eventually there will be posts. There's always updates on at Pod of Mercy, either on Twitter. You can also follow the Instagram and the TikTok as well. DoeJoe doesn't like TikTok. I like TikTok. But other than that, I wish you a very, very happy New Year. I hope you had a very good New Year's Eve. I hope you have an even better 2025. Lots of blessings. I hope you reach all your goals, all your resolutions. But other than that, I will see you next week.